Hello everyone, good evening, morning, lunchtime, whatever, whenever you are listening to this wonderful talk from Eckhart about depressive thinking. Yes, this is a topic that is most common in our society, in our global, how do we say that, development, the direction we are all creating our lives that lead us often into depressive thinking, because we are guided by anxiety rather than by joy. And but I will continue with that, yes, after Eckhart's talk. And now it's a wonderful talk again from Eckhart. I love this one, and it has some humor. It has really clear explanations and recommendations and exercises how to get over it, how to get out of it, how to get a different perspective to these thoughts, to this kind of being, let's say. It's a kind of state of being in a depression mode. You can have different modes, and this is one mode. And to me, first of all, I would like to give you, before you start, because it's a heavy topic, maybe you relax, lean back, and just breathe, and be aware that you are not the only one having depressive thoughts, and also not the only one having such thoughts for quite some time, not just a short period of time, like having a little kind of, or a larger kind of swirl that full of thoughts that pull you down and push you down. It's something that almost every person in their lifetime experiences at least once in their lifetime, and at least also for hours, weeks, days, weeks, months, and even years. So first of all, be aware that everyone is facing this, and this is a normal mode that we are all able to experience. So I just want you to take that relativity to it, and to ease it for you, to allow this mode to also be there. It's a part of all of us, and it's not, the judgment about it is the worst we do. So just take that judgment away about such kind of thoughts and such kind of mood or mode you are in, and that will already give you the first change of direction of that swirl, let's say. I hope you know what I mean with the swirl, but it's like this huge swirl thing in the water, where or the cyclope of a storm, the swirl of a storm, that's even better, of a tornado, this huge thing with this little starting point on the bottom and a huge impact on the more distant, on more distance from that point. Okay, I will talk about that later. Now lean back, take a cup of tea or warm water, a blanket, and a cozy place, your cozy place, and just enjoy listening and relaxing, especially here in this topic. And in the end, don't forget to have a look if you would like to have a free coaching session with me. Yes, I offer this to everyone out there as a free gift from me to you, to all my subscribers. Yeah, as you are a gift on my channel, being here, subscribed, I want to give something back to you personal, and that's it. Okay, now lean back and just relax.
So how does that look in daily life when you are interacting, when you are in situations, dealing with other people, having to do this or that? Let's take a simple situation. You're meeting someone in the elevator and you're exchanging a few words. Of course, there's one person, that's you, meeting another person there. You may know that person, lives in your building or works in the office, or you may not know that person. Perhaps you exchange a few words about the weather or whatever. Perhaps the mind has some judgments about that person, perhaps. Are you there exclusively as that person, or at that, during that seemingly insignificant encounter, can you also sense the presence that you are beyond anything that you say, or can you sense the presence, your own presence, so to speak, as the light of consciousness, as you're looking at that other human being? You say a few words, but can you be that as well as still operate as the person? You can't let go completely of that. You continue to have a physical body and a certain psychological makeup. But in any situation, and especially this one here, this is a kind of trial, an easy, protected setting where we can practice being both the person, of course you are, but at the same time, and here perhaps more strongly, feeling, sensing that you are consciousness, not as an object, but as the subject, the I. Feeling the deeper, sensing the deeper I as consciousness itself. And that is joyful, to know yourself as consciousness you sense an intense aliveness there in your entire energy field, not just the head. Sensing of an aliveness in the entire energy field. And in there you don't need to think unless there's something to think about. And a lot of the time, for example now, there isn't really anything to think about. You can just join this, what looks like a person, and everybody else here who look like a person, join us, join me in that simple sense of alive presence. And if the person that you are is not totally obliterated, but temporarily, one could say, it recedes into the background. It's almost as if for a while you are not a person, because there's nothing at this moment that you need to remember about your past or your problems, because your problems have no reality at this moment. Only when thought starts, your problems, because everybody has them, then you remember your problems. But in the simplicity and actuality of this moment, you have no problem. And that's an amazing thing to realize that right now there is no problem here. Even if you had a toothache, it wouldn't be a problem, it would just be a toothache. But it doesn't become a problem. It's only when you start thinking about it, it becomes a problem. So everybody carries around with them in their head, in their energy field, a problematic life situation. I don't know anybody whose life situation is not, to a greater or lesser extent, problematic. Unfinished business here, things that you don't know how they're going to work out in the future, things that went wrong in the past that may go wrong tomorrow, other people, what they want, intentions of other people, what they are going to do to you, and how is this going to work. Is it all going to work out? That's called a life situation, and it's problematic. And the strange thing is, everybody has that. And sometimes it's much more problematic than at other times, so that's why I say to a greater or lesser extent, you carry around a problematic life situation. If that absorbs your entire consciousness 24 hours a day, except in dreamless sleep, so it's a bit less than 24 hours, it absorbs your entire attention, your entire consciousness. It's like living with some voracious parasite. This is so important, it matters. Just think about this. And it eats up your energy, your consciousness. It becomes thoughts. And that's a dreadful state. So you discover, yes, there is a problematic life situation, and it is unlikely, and let's see a strange thing, that it will ever not be problematic for very long. The problems can lessen considerably as you become more present, but even as you become more present, you're still faced with challenges in the world of form. The way you deal with challenges in the world of form becomes much easier, so that is true. And you are much less likely to create a drama around you, unnecessary drama, that is true. You're much less likely to get involved in conflict situations with others, that is true. But there will always be challenges, and there will be things that can be considered problems in your life situation. Until the moment when death approaches, of course, that is the end of your problems. So it's important to realize that the challenges will be there in daily life. You will continue to have a life situation, and you may not ever feel that now everything is absolutely sorted out in my life. Everything is in its place, total order in my life situation. It's not going to happen. Do you think I have total order in my life situation? No. There are things that should be dealt with, haven't been dealt with. Disorder at home that hasn't been cleaned, that still needs to. There's a pile of papers there that hasn't been sorted out. Here I've got mailbags, haven't looked at them, they've been unopened for 4 weeks, and new mailbags are arriving. And that's only a small example. So if you have the demand or expectation that one day everything on the external realm will be absolutely great so that it doesn't cause you any more concern, it's not going to happen. If it did happen, your life would become quite lifeless. So knowing that there is, on the level of your life situation, on the level of form, life continues to be challenging. That's how it's designed to be. And through life being challenging, actually, a deepening happens inside you. You awake. The awakening intensifies or deepens or accelerates. Now, what does that mean, the awakening? The awakening out of complete identification with the forms of your life, especially thought forms, so that you realize, beyond all the things in my life situation, there is another dimension, and you don't know that conceptually, but you know it directly. There is the, which I sometimes call the transcendent dimension, and that can be experienced or sensed at any moment as the simple, powerful fact of the light of consciousness that you are. Before the light of consciousness turns into a thought or into something, there's the light of just consciousness. And here's your life situation, so you transcend that. You don't deny the life situation, or you run away from it, or you feel suicidal because I can't deal with that stuff anymore. No, you transcend, you rise above, so to speak, and there you see your life situation, and there you realize yourself, the timeless self, as the light of consciousness that is not touched by your life situation. It's not touched by time. It's just that. And then, at first it seems you can either be present or you can be lost in your stuff. That's how it at first seems. People, okay, I can do it. If nobody disturbs me, I can be present. Shh, don't nobody say anything. And if nobody moves the furniture around me, things have to be, because I'm familiar with the furniture here and this there, nothing must change. Okay, now I can be present. And that may be a true experience, but it's not deep enough to sustain itself when somebody moves the furniture a few inches. Why did you do that? This shouldn't be here. It has never been here before. There was that book a few years ago, it became a bestseller, a tiny book, Who Moved My Cheese? It's about learning to accept change because it's all around you continuously. Descartes, philosopher, mistakenly said, I think, therefore I am. If he had gone one step further, he would have realized, I am conscious, therefore I am. And that would have been the right realization. So, the fact that you are conscious at this moment is beyond doubt. Maybe the rest is a dream, but there's a light in which the dream appears, if it is a dream, and you are that. And to know that, and know yourself as that, that's called self-realization in some teachings, ancient teachings. And I believe that is also what Jesus talked about, really, when he used the misunderstood term salvation. So that is our practice, the art of moving in the two dimensions, the dimension of form, without losing awareness of the light of consciousness. It's a bit like if you were an actor on a screen in a movie. Let's say you are the figure in a movie, Let's say you're Hamlet. Let's say they've made movies out of the play Hamlet. So you're on the screen, you're the character Hamlet, and you're saying to be or not to be, which really is he's asking himself, shall I commit suicide or not? If at this moment this figure on the screen could realize his essential identity as the light of the projector, then his problem situation would no longer be so desperate. Because then there's a third option between either carrying on in this futile struggle or kill myself. That's basically what he's asking. Whether to take arms against a sea of troubles or by opposing end them. What's on? So he's asking either carry on in this futile struggle with one problematic situation after another, or maybe it's more courageous to commit suicide. And both options don't seem that attractive. Not realizing that there is a third option, and that is realize that the essence of who you are is the light from the projector. I'm using just the analogy. And if Hamlet could realize, ooh, I'm the light, then there's no longer that despair in his life situation. He can look at it and say, I could kill myself, but there's not really any point. And then he would deal with whatever he would do, whatever he can do, without losing touch with his essential reality of the light of consciousness. The light can then flow into what he does and says, and it will be wise. Before it couldn't, there is no wisdom there, you just reactivity. So then you can deal with that and do the right thing. And then, of course, the whole play of Hamlet would degenerate. It would no longer be the drama. And it would become, from the point of view of the spectator who wants the drama, would perhaps become a little uninteresting. Well, it's all working out. In the end, the harmony prevails. Of course, then another situation happens that's different, but that in that particular situation seems to be working out. Then wait for the next challenge. So it's not the end of challenges, but so there's I'm using that analogy, but it's helpful. You are that character, and you can become aware of your essential reality, and that is salvation. It saves you from being immersed in a sea of troubles continuously. Gratitude can be there for whatever arises. Loving what is. Loving what is. Whatever arises. As Meister Eckhart said, not me, Meister Eckhart, if your only prayer were to say thank you for the rest of your life, that would be enough. You don't need any other prayer. If that were your only prayer, thank you, that's enough. Thank you for what is. Thank you for this moment. The aliveness of this moment. To make you conscious. It does that by giving you challenges. Now try this one. And if you master this one, now you talk about this one. The shift that then happens is you're no longer a suffering entity. Challenges, yes, but the challenges no longer produce suffering. There is that dimension in you that's not touched by any of that stuff. And there's an intelligence that comes through from there that changes even the way in which you deal with the stuff. That's the secret of life.
So thank you so much, Eckhart, for this beautiful talk. Yeah. It's so refreshing and so eye-opening. I could just stand like this, but no. Yeah. How about reaching this topic for you from my energy? Yeah, I have something. Yes, I just remembered it. The thing with this light and this perspective that you have, I told you in the beginning to first of all and everything, and I think that's the beginning of all this coming out of it, is the acceptance. Accept that there is this mood. I mean, and it's sometimes and often, like I explained in the beginning, this tornado has this little center point on the bottom, and that can be so little that you don't even sense it. And often it is just that you are maybe hungry, tired, some expectation didn't fulfill the way you wanted, and it could be the smallest thing, but this is mostly, and I say mostly, the start of this swirl. If you don't observe it, if you don't become aware of it, that's why teaching your awareness is so important. If you become more aware, and how do you do that? From my perspective, how I do that, it's go for a walk, go out, go and just go for a walk. And perfect is go for a walk when it's dark, when there's not much light, so you don't see too much. So to not have your senses too much busy, to really be able to not use that visual senses, for example. To cut off some senses in that way. It will bring you down to a more inner silence, to a silent being, a relaxing being. And especially when it's raining, go out when it's raining. It's such a wonderful possibility to connect to your awareness, because when it's raining you are also like putting on clothes and tighten up and closing up, looking down. You're not able to look around and watch everything, because the drops of the water would annoy you. So when you walk in rain, you are very focused on walking step by step. You're maybe looking down and only seeing a few things on the ground of the path you're walking, maybe a few leaves, a few pieces of roots, only the roots of trees, but very little parts. It's important you find out that you do something where your senses, your influence of information gets reduced. Yeah. And that's a perfect thing. If it's in the evening and you're tired or whatever, take your jacket and go out and take like I would recommend between half an hour and an hour walk. This is really mind-blowing. You will see that when you come home then, you will be so relaxed, and all the things you had in your mind, they will become into a totally different relativity. Yeah. Actually, that's what I did tonight. Yeah, I just, and that's why I can say this is really, really the most easy thing you can do. Open the door, go a step outside, and just walk one step after another through nature. The best would be. Or in a city, if you live in a city, go when it's raining, like I said, then you are not able to look around too much, so your senses don't get so activated, and you just look down and see maybe some paper on the road, on the pavement, or that's the thing. Yeah. And then the other thing I want to add to my experience and to my teachings I'm giving is become aware that each thought you have, well, you see, it's all about thoughts, it's all about thinking, because this thinking causes your feeling of this depression mode. Or it's not true. Like I said in the beginning, often it happens, your mood, your body, your system is telling you, oh, I'm desperate of something, either a fulfilled expectation, or you are hungry, your body wants some food, you are thirsty, you are tired. All these factors will cause a mood. Well, with me, not anymore. I'm so aware that that it doesn't happen to me anymore. Maybe a few times. I'm not no one is 100% perfection, but I'm very good at that already. And I love that when I become aware of being hungry, for example. Try that out. If you are hungry, become aware of not grabbing something to eat. Decide to say no. Decide to say no, I'm not going to eat something. I'm going to experience that hungry feeling. My stomach, how it makes these noises or moves. You feel it really, the moves that your stomach is doing. And really breathe into it and relax into that feeling. And then enjoy feeling your body again. It's, how often are we not feeling our body? We are doing things, very busy, having all our senses turned on by expecting any kinds of things that are out there, but we are almost never scanning or aware. We have no awareness of our own physical being, the physical material being. We are not we don't take any attention to it. There is no attention on it. And when you get hungry and your body is telling you, oh, I'm here, listen to me, here, hello, it's waving his hand to get your attention, then enjoy the attention you give to your body. Becoming aware, oh, I have a stomach, oh, I have try to connect with it in a curious joyful way. Curious, gratitude, thankful. and thankful, I don't want to put that pressure on you that you have to be thankful and grateful for everything you have. To me, it sometimes is like that. When I hear this, be grateful, be thankful, then it gives me a kind of a pressure. And why does it do that? It's an old belief system that gets activated. The old belief system of when you were a child, when you had to say thank you to people. What do you say when you get an ice cream from someone or whatever? Say thank you. So it has a negative vibration or load on it to me, and I'm so sure that it has to many, many people out there, to you too. When you grown up in, for example, a religious family where the rules of behavior are so intensely important, so that's why I explain this to you. But anyhow, never mind. I mentioned this grateful and thankful feeling anyhow, because it is that feeling that occurs and that fulfills and that creates more of great of happenings in your life that you can be grateful of, that you will be enjoying, let's say. And that's why let's now switch from the great gratitude and thankful being to joy about something. This is so much easier and gets more light, more lightness. Yeah, that's a good saying. More lightness to it. To feel curious joy of a child, that a child would have if it would experience everything for the first time. Yeah. So, yeah, I gave you a few things here, huh? Wonderful. Yeah, the other one I wanted to really also point out is you can turn around, try to make this little game. If you're observing your thoughts and you find out, you're thinking all kinds of like bad thoughts that give you a bad feeling, let's say, try to, just for fun, just for an experiment, let's say it that way, experiment with this and turn all the sentences, all the thoughts around to the complete opposite, and then check them out. Check them for a possibility of also being true. Find, because you have all these thoughts and you think, and not you think, but you say they are true. That's okay. That's totally okay. And everything is true. Yeah. And I just want to take your focus from these thoughts to the opposite. The opposite ones would probably make you feel better, but you are at the moment not able or not in the mood or mode of thinking these opposite thoughts. So just try it as an exercise and say, okay, let's see. I'm so not good enough, for example. To ever be a wealthy, healthy person. I'm just not good enough. If this thought, it's a very strong thought. We could also use a little less intense thought, like, this weather is so bad out there. It's raining and it's so bad. What if you turn it around? The rainy weather is just perfect. perfect for me and for everything else. Because I could do, and try to make a because to that new or that opposite sense of your thought, and put a because behind it. That will that will make something. You will see. It will improve the impression and make you really think, okay, maybe it could also be true. And that's all I want from you, to just realize, okay, I have these thoughts. If I turn them around, I could find reasons to say, well, this is also true. That is true, and this is true. And this is already giving you a lot of more lightness as well. To feel, okay, well, not everything is only the way I thought it. I could also turn it completely around, and yes, it could also be true. So it's a first start, to change your thoughts. For example, I have a good one now. My bank account is completely zero. I have no money on my bank account. Turn it around. Try to turn it around. My bank account is full of money. Okay, it isn't at the moment. I'm sure, I'm clear about that, but just to turn it around and have this opposite thought in your head will create something, some other mood. And yes, your thinking will say, but it's not true, it's not true. But tell that one that was arguing there with you, tell it, but it could be true. The possibility is there, and it was shown in the past. I had many, look how many times you had something on your bank account, or you were full of money on your bank account. Look how often that was, and then you find, it's not true that my bank account is on the zero always, or whatever. Just to connect to the other state as well. And then give it a meaning, because my bank account is full of money because, for example, I know how to reload it, or I will get to know how to reload it, or I will learn, I will be opening myself up to load my bank account again. I will learn quickly to fill it up. For example, that's a very good and interesting saying, because if you have analyzed and found out something is like that right now, something not good feeling is really the case right now, then it already was, it is already past. So to even think about it now makes so much of no sense, because if you do that, you're just repeating it again and again and again in your head. And what does it do if you're repeating this statement? Nothing changes. And why does it not change? You are thinking that state and not coming into any action to change it. And that's the thing. For any manifestation mode, without coming into an action of changing, it won't be changed. Your thoughts will not create any change. You need to change the thought, meaning, okay, my bank account is full of money because I know how to go ahead, or I will get to know how to do it. And then your brain already starts, your brain machine, and that what is your brain there for? Nothing else. Then you can give, this way you give your brain the order, come on, get active and find solutions here. Give me proposals, what to do, what is next, what is the next step, what could be the next step, what could we try. Give it, it's spitting out ideas. How to fulfill this new belief, okay? And that's how everything starts, only from within. If you are thinking my bank account is 0, and you come into action from this state, you will make more things, more loops that will finally always again end up in the same state. Do you understand that? If you are acting out of the thought, the negative thought about something, you will be stuck in loops and creating that situation again, or not changing anything on this situation. So the first thing is to turn such a thought around into a positive focus, into a positive thing, into the thing, the state that you would like to be already in. Only by this, it's like a magnet. Every thought is a magnet, and it pulls all the materialization, so the reality to it. And if the thought is, I have no money on my account, then you pull the things to that thought that create more of it. And if you turn around and say, okay, I will put my focus on the other thought, and it's not that you're ignoring this thought, it's just that you're deciding to actively say, okay, I want a solution, I want to go ahead. I put my thought onto the opposite, and that is, my bank account is full of money because blah blah blah, etc., etc. Yeah, it's a funny explanation, but that's how it works. And all this we should learn in school. We never learn it in school. This is so crazy. Okay, guys and ladies, I wish you a wonderful day, minute, second, week, life, everything. And I want you to always remember, always, that you are the lottery win in your life. Nothing more, nothing less. You are it. You are the creating machine. Yeah, and whenever you like, look me up on Facebook or Instagram with my name, Juliane APPEL, J.A. Coaching. And then you will find me and can contact me for your free gift of a free coaching session with me in person. And that will be a different experience, even more. So enjoy it.